everyone! Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you are well. I wanted to take a few moments today to walk you through the process of creating a home altar, a space for you to practice. Maybe where you sit to meditate, where you can sit to journal or read or whatever you're feeling called to. I remember when I took my first yoga teacher training back in 2006, and my teacher started talking about altars, and I had a little bit of a struggle with it. I had to redefine that word for myself. Also, words like God and Spirit, these were things that I needed to redefine and make my own, make them resonate within my own heart. And so I encourage you to do the same thing. If this word altar sort of makes you bristle or something comes up, look at it, welcome it, and take that opportunity to make it your own. I also remember during that teacher training when they were encouraging us to create our own space at home and to meditate, I would spend all this time creating space, and then I would not meditate very long, and I would beat myself up. And looking back now, I realize that process of creating the altar, creating the space, this was my practice, and that is just really wonderful. So it has continued to be a really important part of my practice. I create altars regularly. I create them outside. I have a home altar in my house that I redo, and sometimes I'll do them in my car. Really, it's just such a nourishing practice for me, so I felt called to walk you through a simple way that you can begin this practice if it calls to you. So today I'm using, this is just like a piano bench, but again, you can make your altar anywhere. Bedside table, bookshelf, windowsill, whatever you got. It doesn't have to be big and elaborate. It can be really small. It can be one or two items. We're going to use a few items today. So you want to make sure that whatever space you're using is clean. So take the time to clean it off. This is nice and clean. I already did that. And I have a cloth here that we're going to use to cover the table. Again, all of these things are optional, and you can do it any way you want. This is just one way to do it. And sometimes animal friends come to help. So I'm going to put this pretty spring-colored cloth down. Having fun under there with us? And the traditions that I practice and the way that I build altars is I work with the 4 directions and the elements. So the center of the altar, we can think of that as the element of ether or space, which is where we can begin, and we can keep that open. So I just want to read a little something from the Upanishads, and this really sort of echoes the way that I create altars. From Brahman came space. From space, air. From air, fire. From fire, water. From water, earth. From earth, plants. From plants, food. And from food, the human body, head, arms, legs, and heart. So we're going to go in that order: space, air, fire, water, earth. And the directions that are associated with that are: east is air, south is fire, west is water, and north is earth. So I have a compass here, and this is going to tell me which way north is. So for me, north is kind of pointing at an angle, so we're going to keep the center of this altar open space here, creating the capacity for spaciousness in our lives. And then in the east, you can think of the east like new beginnings, like the sun rises in the east, things we want to call into our lives. So in the east, we're going to start with air. So I have a crow feather here that's going to go in the east. And I'm also going to use sage in the east to represent air because it flows through the air. So that will go in the east. And when I'm done, I'll show you a close-up of the altar space. So moving from the east, we're going to move to the south. And the south is where fire is. This is known for transformation. So I have a candle for fire. It's going to go in the south here. And I also have this shell, which signifies transformation. And I also like to always include a spiral in my altars. And this sort of represents the spiral of life. And the way that with spiritual practice we tend to really be super engaged, and then we'll swing away from it, and then we'll come back and be really engaged. And this is just a part of the process. This is a part of the spiral of life. So including that here in the south. And then from the south, we're going to move to the west, where water is honored. And this is also the land of emotions, cleansing, healing. So I have this vase here that's filled with water, and I'm going to put that, these smell so good, I'm going to put this in the west. Very simple. And then the north is earth, and this is where we can call to our helpers, our guides, our ancestors. So I have some stones here. I have a rock that one of my teachers gave me from the Ganges River in India. I have a rose quartz that I always love to include. Rose quartz. Sometimes I'll put a rose quartz in the center of the altar because to me it represents love, and this is the center of everything. This is what we're here for, love, at the risk of sounding cheesy. So, and then I also have this piece of crystal quartz. Now quartz is going to go in the earth for this particular altar, but in the future you can put quartz anywhere because it magnifies the intentions, it magnifies the prayers that we are putting forth in the altar. So I'll just place these stones. In the north. And then finally, it's nice to have an offering. So an offering to the elements, an offering to ancestors, or any energies that you're calling in to be present for your altar. So I have this, and I actually have two. Let me get this other one here. So this is a hunk of salt, and in this little canister is tobacco. So an offering for the earth. So you can just put those wherever feels right to you. So I'll show you a close-up of this altar here. Okay, see, that's not very clear. There we go. That's our altar that we made. We've got everything there. So I'm just going to take a moment to light the candle. And now we have a space here where we can read, we can meditate, we can reflect, we can journal, and we can help to cultivate a sense of spaciousness, presence, and peace. Thank you so much. Happy altar making. Reach out if you have questions. Sat Nam. Namaste.